Brian Mudd Show is on News Radio 610 WIOD.
Judy Gaman, who is a healthy living expert at Judy Gaman on Twitter. Judy, you remember the name of that mat?
I'm sitting here going, oh, please help me remember that. And I know exactly what you're talking about, but I cannot remember the name of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was the original. Power Pad. Yes, there you go. Chris
Power
came
Pad.
through. All right. Very good. All right. So, yeah, it's been a long time in the making, all these different things. But that was fun and good times. Anyway, Judy, something that hasn't been fun, dealing with this virus. And here we are coming up on the holidays. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of stuff that is grating on my nerves because you quite literally have some experts out there that are, saying we should just avoid our families and everything else. I mean, at some point, we have to live our lives and just be smart about it. So talking about living our lives, being smart, heading into the holidays, handshakes and fist bumps, that type of thing. What at this point is safe, is reasonable in terms of contact and interaction with others?
Well, I think we have to go back to our mother's advice. Keep your hands to yourself. It's really what we have to do for a while. It doesn't mean that we cannot gather. We just have to be careful about the way that we gather. Obviously, we don't want to be in large crowds. We want to be as careful as possible. I've got some great tips about Thanksgiving, too. But the research shows that handshakes and fist bumps, we really got to avoid them for now. I mean, there's much more than a 50% rate that you could contract it or spread it that way. So keep your hands to yourself, but, we can still, like I said, distance, but get together.
Okay, so help me with this one. Family, Thanksgiving. Let's say we wear our mask while we do this. Could we hug our family members, or is that a no-go?
Yeah, really, it's a no-go on the hugging, and we all have to be realistic. We can't wear our mask while we eat, and we don't magically not have the virus when we put a fork in our hand, which is kind of what a lot of people think. As long as I'm eating, I'm good. But really what we need to do is kind of reinvent Thanksgiving a little bit this year. If you're going to gather, you don't all have to sit elbow to elbow at the same table. Spread out a little bit. If you're in an area, and some people are, where the weather is seasonably warmer than normal, maybe you actually use your picnic table as well. But for most people, that's not an option, and really they need to spread out around the home. But here's the real key to Thanksgiving, and that is don't pass the plates. Don't pass the food around. Put one person in charge of plating the food. And that way, we're not all touching the same utensils and grabbing a roll and putting the roll in our mouth and spreading those germs that way. Just got to be smart.
I'm thinking about all the different implications. You know what this sounds like, Judy? It sounds like the holiday season for families who don't really like each other. You always have families that it's the family obligation thing, but nobody really likes each other that much. And so you kind of like, all right, we're going to put our heads down and get through this. So now you kind of have the excuse to either just stay away from each other, or you can really be distanced and have an excuse for it. Those sound like the winners this year.
Well, I have this great idea. It's probably too late to invent it, but a thermometer that always reads the temperature. So when the people that you don't want to come to your door, you just take their temperature and say, sorry, looks like you got 100 degrees. You can't come in.
Wow. I see you working. All right. You probably just gave somebody an idea. Permanently, too.
Probably.
There'll be people, 10 years from now doing temperature checks holidays. Thou shalt not pass. All right, Judy, appreciate the information. It's interesting, including your tip.
Pleasure.
Yeah, likewise. Judy Gaman. You may follow her on Twitter as well, at Judy Gaman.